What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Hey, what's going on, JS Creative? Our original moderator. What's up? Josh, what's going on? And let's start the intro. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Hey, what's going on, JS Creative? Our original moderator. What's up? Josh, what's going on? And let's start the intro. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. And let me introduce our guys here. We've got the shop look. We got Brandon, Green Ranger 1701, and we've got from Alaska Gaming Brokers, Josh, man. What's up, man? You got your game face on.
Absolutely. I wore a special hat just for you, Luke.
Yeah, I'm thinking, man, that was a very serious face for that hat.
I should have wore it.
You know, I got to go back to my law enforcement days.
So, guys, today's show is going to be about stop, everybody, stop. It's not that funny. Today we're going to talk about some of the challenges of collecting in Alaska. And I know that for you, Josh, you have a pretty significant collection, don't you?
Yeah, I worked at GameStop for a number of years, sold my soul to that company for a while.
And Brandon...
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying I was in Microsoft and Nintendo's back door for a number of years, so got a pretty decent collection.
Nice. And Brandon, you went everything from Power Rangers to...
Oh my gosh. Star Wars, Star Trek, Batman, DC Marvel stuff, man. Yeah, it's there's a lot. Ask my wife.
Nice. And so let's get it started with you, Josh, man. So first off, before we get started, I want to tell everybody. So I've known these two guys since I started the shop and started the ComicCons. And these two guys just kept showing up and supporting everything that we were doing, which is has been a blessing, man. I don't think people realize it. You know, I did a post about it the other day, just talking about the fact that, hey, what's going on, Wookie Fodder? Essentially, that the shop was more of a community service, man. It was more of it was always about community. I don't think I ever intended for it to really make a profit. I think it was always designed to be a place where community could hang out and feel safe there. And I think that mission was accomplished. I think as I move forward, I will probably start looking at the nonprofit model for the next shop, so that there'll be no bitterness and no significant financial losses, because it'll be something that I can have a. Well, the big thing is that there's a lot of organizations that would reach out to us for help, and unfortunately, they weren't able to reciprocate the help because we weren't a nonprofit, so we didn't qualify for any of their assistance. So even though we were giving away books and we were giving away gifts at Christmas and everything else, they couldn't help us because we weren't designated a nonprofit, and it was in their bylaws. It's not that they didn't want to help us, it's just that they couldn't legally do it. And now things would be changing. So we'll be looking at hopefully doing something through one of the local veteran organizations and moving forward from there. And it'll still be able to reach out to the whole community, but we'll be covered under that blanket of a nonprofit. So, and I'm really excited because I've never seen anything like it, man. I mean, the last time I saw shops like this was in the 80s, right? Where everybody, people would come in and just hang out for hours. And that was okay.
The nerd library.
Yeah, it's the nerd library, man. And God, I miss that. So, Josh, what do you got to show the crowd today, man?
Well, one of the series that I've been a big fan of for many years is Resident Evil, and
Yeah.
I've got some pretty darn unique games, quite a few that honestly I'd probably say in the state of Alaska, I'm probably the only one that has them. So
Uh-oh.
I figured I'd show them off, and if someone can say, "Hey, I got this," that's cool. But I have one Resident Evil game that I'm pretty sure nobody has, at least in this state. So if you don't have this game, don't come at me.
Ooh.
But one of
Ooh.
the big ones that for me when I'm collecting, I want to be able to play the best version of the game. So I kind of go for the story. I want to make sure that I have the best version of it. So with Resident Evil, Nintendo of all people decided to come out and go, you know what? We want to have some mature games for the GameCube. So they took over the Resident Evil franchise for a good long while. Big one they did is this guy. This is the Resident
Whoa.
Evil remake. This is the one where basically they took the first game, redid the graphics, and actually made it playable. Because I don't know if you played the original Resident Evil, it was pretty difficult. This game fixed almost all of the flaws it had and just made it a beautiful game to play. So this kind of really started me off on that journey. And then with GameCube, they came out with these games here. That's Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. They're just ports. So these are the original games, pretty much the original graphics, original gameplay, but they re-released them on the GameCube, so I had to get them, and here they are in all their outdated, horrible graphics glory.
Yeah, but they were way ahead of their time at the
Oh,
time.
absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
then this is one that a lot of people may not know. This is Code Veronica X. Actually, one of my
I
favorite
played
games
that
in the
one.
series.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just a really unique game, and it kind of goes a little bit more into the lore of Resident Evil, how the virus happened, and kind of who the
Yep.
the main guy
The
is.
twin.
So,
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
and then this was probably my favorite on the GameCube. This one actually happens before the first game in the timeline, but did the same engine that it used on the Resident Evil remake, and then just kind of gives you the tag team kind of gameplay, and just ended up being really, really cool. And so, pretty much every Resident Evil that ended up on the GameCube ended up being a pretty good banger. So I ended up really liking those. But probably my rare one for the GameCube. It's a little beat up because I've had it for years. But
Wow.
this is my GameStop Special Edition Resident Evil 4 Complete.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
So that one, as you can tell, exclusive to GameStop. And so yeah, I worked there for a number of years, so had an opportunity for that. So comes with everything. If you haven't played Resident Evil 4, it is a classic game. It must be played. They did a remake.
That's
You can
the
play the
one,
remake,
right?
but the original still holds up.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, I liked Resident Evil 4 so much that I even got it on the PlayStation 2, and they actually came out with a Steelbook Premium Edition for this one, which I have. Came with all the lovely little inserts, a little Ada Wong art cell there. A few things there. But some of the ones that I really like, that I like talking about, because not everybody knows about them, it's called Resident Evil Dead Aim. If you haven't played this one, this is a Resident Evil on the rails shooter, kind of like Time Crisis or House of the Dead. And it's actually a remarkably good game. It's hard to play, but the story's really good, and it's just a dang fun game to play.
Wow.
So I like showing that one off. And then two of the other ones that not a lot of people know about. This was Resident Evil's first foray into the online realm. These games were like a cooperative game, really cool, really great when you had a few people playing, but basically useless now. Just really nice to add to your collection, that kind of thing. And then going into that on the rails kind of theme, we have the Wii versions of those on the rail shooters, kind of like, again,
Wow.
House of the Dead, Umbrella Chronicles, and Dark Side Chronicles. Really great games. They actually kind of go over about 4 or 5 different games between the both of them. And so you can kind of get a different perspective of the games. And these ones actually don't cost that much. So if you got a Wii and haven't played through the Resident Evil storyline, these are just really cool to play. And I've had a blast with them. This one, or the Umbrella Chronicles, was actually probably one of my top favorite Wii games. And just for the fact that I love the Resident Evil story and all that. So those are my console ones. The other ones I kind of want to show off, and then I'll be done here pretty quick for you. But this one right here is one that not a lot of people know about. This is Resident Evil on the DS. It's called Deadly Silence. It's actually a remake of the very first game. But again, redoes the gameplay, redoes the controls, so it's actually playable.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good one. Got that decked out, case instructions, the whole 9 yards. And then this one, kind of a fun story. So working at GameStop, you see all the games come in, and since I've been a fan for years, I made sure I pre-ordered this one, had it ready to go, and when it showed up, you know, I was homeschooled, so I know how to spell, but when it showed up, I don't know if you can see that,
Whoa.
Resident Evil Revelitans.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
Wow.
So-
I got the error variant.
I got the Air variant, so when this showed up in my GameStop, I was like, oh no, that's awful, but I gotta have it. So
Yeah.
made sure I got that one in. And then this is actually, it's kind of funny because it's not in the canon of the Resident Evil stories, but this is probably my most expensive Resident Evil game. And it actually came out on the Game Boy Color. It's called Resident Evil Gaiden. Doesn't go along with any of the story, just kind of an offshoot with Leon Kennedy. So I actually had a blast with it. It's terrible, but it's a guilty pleasure.
Oh, wow.
So really love this one. Has a lot of the main characters that anyone fan of the series will know. Barry, Claire, all that. So really cool one. And then the game that I'm fairly certain, and if someone in this state has this game, I will be completely impressed. But I have Resident Evil 2, a variant that not many people probably have. It is called Resident Evil 2 for the Tiger Gamecom. I don't know if anybody knows what the Gamecom is anymore, but it was one of the very first handhelds that had a Wi-Fi connection where you could get online and do stuff on that, but it was black and white, no color, just really pretty terrible of a system. But I was back home in Washington at one of my shops, and I was talking about my Resident Evil collection, and the guy there goes, oh, I bet I got one that you don't have. Pulled this guy out, and I kind of had to go, okay, how much do you want for it?
Wow.
And I've secured it. So again, this is the game that if you want to say your Resident Evil collection is better than mine, that's fine, but don't talk to me unless you got this.
Just
And then I got a few more over here, a few other games, but that's just kind of the lesser known, more unique, kind of interesting Resident Evils I have in my collection. So just thought I'd show all your viewers and
oh,
let people know we represent in Alaska. We got some good nerd stuff, all right?
that's awesome, man. Man, he just flexed on everybody.
I'm thrown out.
Yes, it always has been.
Wow. So, what were the challenges of gathering all those things? Now, I suspect that you did a lot of that shopping in the lower 48, or was that online purchases or a mix?
I'm gonna be honest. Most of it has been thrift stores up here. I would say
Whoa.
probably at least 70% of my Resident Evil games I've just gotten at pawn shops up here, thrift stores, garage sales, all that. And the another big challenge is kind of the words out that retro games and vintage games are a hot commodity. So the price has gone way up on a lot of them,
Hmm.
and so finding them at a good price just kind of requires some diligence, hitting up the thrift stores, the pawn shops. And then up here, I'll throw out a few shops I like to go to. Ian's Game Paradise in the Fifth Avenue Mall. I found a lot of good stuff, and the guy works with me on pricing and all that, so he'll hook it up. And then I, I feel bad. I want to say it's a game warehouse. It's on Spenard. Really cool family owns it. They used to be inside a pawn shop, and they had their own little space there. But now they have their own dedicated space over near Spenard. It's actually pretty close to the
Video
Bosco's.
Game Depot, right?
Video Game Depot, that's right, not warehouse.
Hmm.
Love those
Yeah, they're good
guys. I
folks. I
found
like
a Yeah, they're good people, and I found a lot of the stuff I've been looking for there. And again, if they know you're going to play the game and you're a collector, they work with you on pricing and everything. So good guys there.
Oh,
them.
that's awesome.
But Ian's a legit dude too.
Oh yeah, no, if I'm going to sell something kind of rare that I want to stay in the state, I want someone good to have it, I'll go to Ian's and sell it there.
Yeah, I've been
Wow.
going to his shop for ages,
Yeah, he's a great guy.
like Cosplay Mall days. You know.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. And now, do you sell any of your collection, or do you
Yeah,
have a store?
I use Mercari. I have a Mercari shop on there. I sell a lot of my stuff through that. I really like that app just because the way you get to converse with other gamers and people buying from you has just been really great. And it's honestly going through some tough times. It's helped me pay for groceries. So
Wow,
Mercari, my collection, being able to find games and resell them has been really a great thing for my family.
that's fantastic. Would you be willing to put that link in the chat real quick in the live chat?
Yeah, let me see if I can get on there.
And Brandon, so we have some fantastic news through one of your sponsors. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah. This has been, gosh, it's yeah. So Sim Cosplay reactivated my discount. So it wasn't meant to lapse. They just have like automatic system expirations, and so it wasn't an intentional deactivation. So that was good to know. It's just when I talked to Bruce, he said, "Oh yeah, it just expired in the system," and so he's like, "Boom, put it back on." It was ready the next day. So
Oh, that's
I've already had a
awesome.
good friend put that to use. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really trying to get the dialogue back open for getting some more suits flowing and getting the channel up and going. It's wild how many comments I've responded to this week on my YouTube channel, and there hasn't been really any activity recently. Um, it's crazy how many people continue to go on there and say thank you for doing this review, or I used your code, and just asking me so many questions about the Sim Cosplay website and whatnot. So it's been really awesome just to continue to get that feedback from people. And I haven't posted a cosplay related video for some time since we haven't been able to work out a new deal, but it's been still really awesome to have that back.
Can you post that the link and the your promo code, please,
Yeah,
in the chat?
absolutely.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited that everyone's starting to get their stuff together, man, that we're able to assist each other. Number one, Spine Ticks, what is going on, man? Sith Lordly, thank you so much for being on. As you guys know, we are the official, and we're back, the official warm up show for Spine Ticks. And make sure, guys, that you check them out, please. They They have been friends for years, and they have a great and entertaining show. It could, yeah, it's not PG though, maybe PG-13. But those are my
Fair
boys
warning.
there, man. They're yeah, it's just straight geek talk there, man, and it's awesome. And Sith Lordly, you are solid. Wookie Father and the rest of the crew there, just solid people, man. I am proud to know you guys as friends. So, before we go on, there's something, a subject I wanted to bring up. At the shop, you guys know that we entertained a lot of different groups of people. We entertained the deaf community. We entertained the the special needs community at the shop, which was just super powerful. The one community that we never addressed was the blind community. And I always wondered what it would be like if they created Braille comics or Braille books and what the reaction would be. And more importantly, what would be the reaction to, let's say, like a horror comic or a horror book in Braille. So I got some footage of one here, and I think it's linked to Marvel's New Warriors, but we'll see. Judge for yourself. Oh, I love that so much.
Oh my god.
That would be a blind man's reaction to New Warriors. I'm pretty sure of it.
And I'm over here thinking that's for real.
I think it's being legit going for that, and as soon as I saw it, I knew. I was like, "Oh, here we go." Oh man.
Oh my god! Oh wait, I gotta get it.
Emotional damage.
Ah, yes, the band is back. Man, man, man. So, before we get on to any other craziness, I did want to shamelessly plug some new swag that we just launched on the website, and it is for it's fan art by Mike Provo, and I think Green Ranger, you're going to really love this because this is a nod to you. And I know it looks like I'm setting you up for another joke, but I'm not. Seriously, here, hold on. Yeah, I think you're going to love this here, real quick. Let me see, where did I put it? I think it's right here. So yeah, so if you look on our website now, if you go to www.aegisalaska.com, that is aegiscomicsalaska.com, you will find our new swag, which is that Green Ranger fan art by Mike Provo. We have the hoodie and the t-shirt. We have it in green and black. Those are the two colors available right now. And then I'll give you a closer look. So, and reasonably priced. And this is all original art by Mike Provo. And it is available now. You can pay using Afterpay, or you can just pay regular with credit card on our website. And of course, all of this supports our shop and supports our local artists and all the other community events that we do. We also have it available in t-shirt. So we have the green t-shirt and black t-shirt. Once again, this is all original art by Mike Provo. This is just a small sample of the fire that this guy produces.
Yeah, Provo's legit.
Yeah, and once again, reasonably priced. Starting at $18.50 for the smaller shirts, and yeah, you can choose between black or the green. So let's say you wanted to do leaf color, and then we went with let's go with a large. It'd be $19, man. It's a steal, man, and you're you're supporting the shop and you're supporting Mike, man. Getting his name out there as an artist. He is a fantastic artist. He already has multiple covers under his name. Bad Girl, Good Boy, and Postmasters all. Well, Good Boy's already out of stock, but we still have a handful of the Bad Girl #1 Aegis exclusives. And then for those of you that have been seeing all the news about the Berserker by Keanu Reeves, we still have the original print #1s available for you guys. So go to our website today at aegiscomicsalaska.com. That is aegiscomicsalaska.com, and enjoy. And yeah. Oh, on eBay. Gotcha. So guys, please make sure to take advantage of that. And let's get back to the guys here. So,
Lou, when did you put the hoodie out? When did it officially go online?
it just went out today. Officially today.
Today? Okay.
Today. So it's
I thought it
available.
was interesting. Jason's 51st birthday would have been days ago. So
Wow. Okay. Well, anybody that wants to take advantage of that, please. We have it available right now, and go for it. Oh, and thank you, JS. So, people have been on me about this ComicCon. It's definitely happening. It's definitely happening in 2025. I already have the venue, but I got to keep it under wraps for a little bit of where the venue is going to be. But we are going to have a Comic-Con. I am now shooting for a mini-con so that we can just get things going. But the mini-con would just be local vendors and local artists, whereas the Comic-Con, we would be flying up artists again. And we know that we've been able to, in the past, secure some of the biggest, some of the newer big artists, and then some classics, like Ryan Anderson. We've had Ben up here before he blew up with Marvel. He's been up here multiple times, and we're going to try to get him up here again. And then, of course, we're going to try. I don't know if we can make it happen, because I don't know if he's willing to travel this far, but we're going to try to get John Royal. He was the one who did our Red Sonja, and he's done a bunch of Marvel stuff, and the guy's just fantastic. But he comes from the UK. And then Roy Thomas, we can still get him on the hook at one point as well. So, oh yeah, JS, yeah, we're definitely going to be looking for your skill set on that. But yeah, that's the goal. We're going to make it happen. We have no choice now, man. The state has lost some iconic shows. It sounds like SenchiCon is gone now. It's not coming back anytime soon. They shut it down. Yeah.
That's very sad. I used to love that. I lived downtown and would go there every year.
Yeah, the founder has been a very good friend of the shop, and I wish him the best. And if he's watching, and if there's anything I can do to help, I think we all got our butts kicked. It was very difficult for Alaska businesses to survive after COVID. COVID really spanked us, man. It really did, and it was hard for us to make a comeback after that. So, we just have to restructure.
What it is, right? It doesn't help. There's a lot of combos that are just hurting the smaller guys that are trying to keep above water.
Well, yeah, if you got people that so people have asked why we charge ticket prices to come into the venue. That is strictly for us to pay for the artists and VIPs that come up here, because unlike in the lower 48 where these artists would just drive up, they would just drive to the next con, and in this case, we're paying for their travel to incentivize them to come up here, because that's the only way they would be willing to come up here, because otherwise it's not cost effective for them. So that's why the ticket prices are what they are. But when you have to choose between a $15 entrance ticket or a gallon of milk that's $8 or whatever it is now, it's rough. So we're looking at other ways to try to promote and make it cost effective for families. We know that people want these shows. It's We've been successful every year with the shows, and we're going to keep it going. Shutting down the brick and mortar was heartbreaking at the time, but I think it was a blessing in disguise because it helps us restructure, helps us so many lessons learned. And of course, we opened up the brick and mortar weeks before the closure. So right when we were starting to get some momentum in that upstairs, boom, you know. But had that shop not been open, I would have never met you guys, and I would have never met the people that follow us on the on YouTube channel, and all these awesome people that I get to see on a daily basis at Band of Brothers or throughout the community. You know, it's family, and I. When you watch these little documentaries about comic book shops, like Midwest Panels or My Comic Book Country on Amazon Prime, which I encourage you guys, please get that. You have to pay, you have to purchase My Comic Book Country, but it's worth it because you're actually funding that guy's new comic book shop that he's rebuilding. But
That's cool.
when you see these documentaries and they're interviewing, you know, between 7 and 12 comic shop owners from different types of comic shops, the one common theme is that it's community. That's always the common theme in every location for a comic book shop that's been around for a while. It's always community. Now, do they close a lot? Yeah, because the nature of the beast. I mean, people have to choose between milk, gas, or
The new warriors.
the new warriors. And so, I mean, the industry doesn't always help us out with that. I would tell people, anyone that's interested in the comic book industry and doing comic shop, don't do it solely as a comic shop. Pair it up with something else, a coffee shop or something else. We made the right decisions, but we made the right decisions way too late. And we couldn't recover. We were already bleeding out at the time. But if we did it again, I suspect that it would be very successful, because you don't want it to be. You don't want all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. The other thing I would recommend is that people stick to the big sellers and only throw money down on the big sellers. Like the one book that sold out every single time at the shop. Anybody want to guess? For both adults and children. Adults and children.
Ric Flair, Secret Agent.
No, but that was a really good one.
That was, man. I like it.
Yeah. It's a modern title. Throw your best guess out. That sold out every time at the shop. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog
Really?
sold
Yeah.
all
Far from what I would
generations, because the adults, the older adults, it was that nostalgia from the game, the kids from the movies, and when the adults would come in, they had this bonding moment with their kids because they could show them the source material for the movie and also show them what came from the video games and the storyline in the video games that they grew up with. That book, I never went without selling it, ever. That was one book that we could never ever keep on the racks. It was guaranteed seller to this day.
That's wow. That would not be my
Yeah.
guess at all.
Oh yeah, and I don't care what format it was in. It could have been a trade or it could have been a regular comic. It would have sold out, 100%, every single time. And I would watch those books go. But then you'd get something like the new X-Men titles. Now, if you got the trade paperback for like Powers of X and House of X, that always sold out. But the individual titles, it was just too much. And the variant covers and everything else was just... It started making... I will tell you, I hated I hated the industry for a while. Once I got into the variant covers and the ratios, I started hating the industry. It was like... Because I saw what they were doing. It was their way of...
The cash grab.
The cash grab, but it was their way of padding their numbers against their competitors. You know, oh, we sold out on Superman #1. Yeah, well, because you relaunched the series after 50 issues, and you made 300 variant covers for it. that the retailers paid for
Right.
because it's a
Exactly.
retailer variant, right? So each retailer, like right now with DC, a retailer has to come up with like almost $13,000 for a cover because you have a minimum
Jeez.
order. I know they don't like me talking about that, but it is what it is, man. So when you see these guys that are selling these retailer exclusives for DC or Marvel, you're talking at least a $12,000 to $13,000 minimum investment. Minimum. Kiss Zombies. I remember that. Dude, that one did sell out, but the trade took a while. But the comic did sell. Now that I think of it, the other one, but none of them compared to Sonic. Spawn was good. Gunslinger Spawn was really good, but nothing compared to that Sonic. The other one was the special limited stories, but it was always the number ones. So what would happen is the number one would pop, the sales would skyrocket, and then it would start dwindling. One example would be that Wolverine versus Predator. That number one was it sold out no matter what, but then issue 2, 3, and 4, the orders would dwindle. So as a shop, you're trying to anticipate, well, how much should I order? And one of our mentors in this game, which was So-Called Comics, it got to the point that he would literally reduce his orders by 50% after issue number 1. That's pretty drastic when you think about it.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So I think the pre-order game is really important. Um, no, Hellboy did not sell out all the time. Well, yeah, because I would buy like 3 or 4 of them.
Right. You sell your 4 issues to Glenn. Right?
Yeah, that's a. Well, okay, I'm gonna give him this though. All right, I bust his chops about it. If you had Hellboy in the shop, it would sell out, but it's a select community that purchases that book. But like if I would have had 30 copies of Hellboy, I would have been stuck with 30 copies. But if I only bought like 3 or 4 of them, they'd be gone. So you just had to know your quantities, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Glenn.
And as
Love
for
you,
the
brother.
variant game, Boom Comics is like one of the worst with that stuff.
With the Power Rangers and the
Yep, exactly.
yeah,
I found myself variant chasing for a bit, and Glenn helped out, and I was like, man, this is so much just to get the same story over and over. You know what I mean? Like, it just how
yeah,
worth it is it? And who knows if it's gonna be worth anything in the long run? That these when you oversaturate the market, nothing is worth anything. It just that's what happens. It might die out over time. They might get lost. They might end up with their home, right, where people won't turn around, and maybe they'll grab some value over time. But
right.
saturation almost never works.
No, there's only a handful of books, modern books that have retained value. I have one here at the house. It's the first cover appearance of Mickey Mouse on a Marvel cover, and I think that one's at about $2,000, $3,000 for that book. It's that D23 exclusive, but
Nice.
the history behind the value is kind of sad. So what happened was they only sent one to each shop, right? And I got mine in a 9.8. Let me grab it real quick so you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about collections here and flexing, come on, Lou. Let's flex.
Yeah. And Josh, I looked up the Resident Evil Revelations game. Someone has it on eBay for $3,000. The Era print you have, the 3DS.
Yep.
I was just curious. I looked it up.
This is the first cover appearance of Mickey Mouse officially on a Marvel comic. It was at the D23 exclusive. That, but the reason for the skyrocket in the value was the limited release. Number one, that this cover was only sent one to each shop, okay, and then at the D23 release or the event, they didn't have anybody regulating it, so they had a stack of them for all the attendees, and people started coming in and grabbing 10, 20 of them, and a lot of people
Really?
stood in line and never got their books because there was nobody regulating. They just left the books unattended essentially, and people could just come in and grab a book. Well, you know what they did? They ended up grabbing, a dozen of them. So
Oh yeah.
a bunch of the
Oh yeah.
attendees, and they never. So when they reprinted, it was a reprint, so it wasn't the original print. So the people that they compensated later ended up with, second prints of this original cover. So that's why this cover, the Humberto Ramos cover, is worth so much money. It's because of the scarcity. But yeah, but for this, I mean, this it's rare that you see a modern book hold that type of value. The other one was when we
Yeah.
had the 1 in 1,000 Berserker. We had that in a 9/8 signed by Keanu Reeves. That book's still worth about $3,000. But will we see
I
40
gotta
and
go look,
50,000
honestly.
or 100,000? I don't know that we will on the modern books. It's the blue chip books like Fantastic Four, from the 1960s. Fawcett Comics that doesn't exist anymore. That original Captain Marvel, the Action Comics #1. Those are your blue chips, which means that they
Yeah.
even if the movie's bombed, the value of that book always creeps up somehow, right? Because every Fantastic Four movie, every modern Fantastic Four movie, with maybe exception of maybe the first one or maybe the Silver Surfer one, all bombed in the box office. But yet the book has always slowly climbed up in value. It hasn't dropped, and it's just because of the nostalgia of that book. Being the Marvel's first
Yeah.
family,
The hype
blah blah
still
blah.
exists.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and I want to show everybody a close up of this art that's going to be on that's on that shirt and hoodie right now. I mean, take a look at that, guys.
Oh,
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's wow.
yeah. So that's what's on the shirt and the hoodie, guys.
I might need to get that for my pastor. He mentioned the Green Ranger in our sermon on Sunday.
Woo! You know it when they're preaching it. When they're preaching it, you know it.
What
And
impressed me is he
Wow.
did the dragon dagger song too.
nah,
Uh,
are you
oh
serious?
yeah.
Nah. What? Yo, I'm gonna have to, dude. I'm gonna have to wear my
I would love to know
Jesus
how he
never
connected
tapped.
that.
I'm gonna have to wear my Jesus didn't tap T-shirt to church on Sunday. Then that's awesome. That's my favorite shirt
Glad
of
you
all
like the
time,
shirt.
man. Dude, like is yeah, I love that shirt. That thing's gonna have holes in it from me wearing it too
Yeah,
much.
they sent me a whole bunch of stuff when I talked to them about it. I said, "Hey, like,
Yeah.
I would love to share this stuff," and they sent me a box. They sent me a huge box, and I was like, "Cool, this is really awesome."
If
So,
you have that in a small, I'll buy one from you. If you have one in a small, I'll buy one from you. Like,
I think I have one small. I don't think it looks like that. They gave me variants of different shirts that are
yeah,
all the same message, but I think I do. I think I do.
yeah. If you have one, set it aside for me, and we'll do a trade.
Sure.
We'll meet at parking lot. We'll flash headlights at each other, and yeah, no cops, no cops, man.
You can return my card too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God. Ooh, Kevin 9/8 karate chop. Yeah. So, guys, before we wrap up, anything you guys want to promote? Let's start with Green Ranger.
Guys, honestly, just continue to show support towards the channel. And look, if you follow Sim Cosplay on their Facebook or whatnot, Bruce posts contests all the time. They literally give this stuff away, and they'll do first, second, and third, all this different stuff. And they give away new things, like they've been on the Deadpool Wolverine kick, and they follow the times, which is really awesome. It kind of goes with the hype, and and there's so many cons going on around the world. It's really hard not to use them. Halloween's coming up, which is great. But let them know if you've watched my content and you like it. Let them know. Let them know, because when it comes from the fan side, Bruce sees that. He runs all the social media. He gets the emails. Like, that's what he does. And if he sees that, that's only going to help the cause of continuing this content creation. I'm still working on it from my end. I got the code reactivated and whatnot, but it'll make a difference. So, if you have it, check out my channel. I'll post that in real quick too. I'm gonna put it in the comments here. But follow my YouTube channel. I really enjoy doing this type of thing, and I've kind of sprawled out a little bit too more. Like, I've also did props reviews, things like that, which has been really cool. So yeah, but let them know. So yeah, as that same cosplay Halloween notice, They do all kinds of stuff. They're an awesome company. Their quality is it's good. It's really good. I've been really impressed. Not everything is great, but that's it never is, right? Not everything, but I have been I would say over 90% happy with the products they have um, sent to me. And the things that I don't care for, I can usually modify and make better. Um, but I haven't hardly ran into a costume yet that I didn't care for.
Wow. Alrighty. And then and everybody read Hellboy. Yes, sir.
I was actually
And
watching the
then
Golden Army film the other night.
and then my brother here, what you got for us?
So as far as it goes, if you're looking for anything that rare games, hard to find stuff, I'm going to be updating my Mercari shop. So head that. I put the link in the chat. If you can, Ian's Game Paradise in the Fifth Avenue Mall in Anchorage. Love that guy. It's a great place if you're looking for old school games as well. And then Video Game Depot's great little shop too. And then as far as it goes, keep an ear out for me. I have an alter ego who's going to be on a quest to get a Honda Odyssey here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. Well, guys, we know that you have your choice in what the heck you watch on a Saturday night. And we appreciate that you were silly enough to listen to us for the last 50 minutes. We really appreciate you. We'll be back on again
Always.
next Saturday and with some more fun stuff. Let's part with the classic. A lot of people have been wondering how I stay in shape. And this is how I do it. Yeah, it's a rough time at the gym for me, but I do what I can, and yeah.
Hey, Lou, do you know how Bigfoot stays in shape?
No.
Oh, he does Sasquatch. Sorry, guys.
No, look, if you know you're a dad.
Amen.
Tell me you're a dad.
You may notice my attention going elsewhere. I have two little daughters running around that are hyperactive, just like me.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness. Well, we love it, man. Thank you. We hope that we can have you back on the show next week if you're available, man. That'd be awesome.
Amen.
And I think I'm gonna have some wrestling stuff for Green Ranger, cause yeah.
So heads up, next Saturday at 7 p.m. I'm actually going to be at the new Superman Christopher Reeve documentary they're showing in theaters. So I wasn't going to miss my night on that. So I booked a date night. So I'm going to be there Saturday.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to give us the review on that, cause man, I'm actually excited about that too. I just I won't be able
Oh
to make it
man,
on
the
Saturday.
preview made me bawl like a child. So I don't know what the actual film's going to do to me. We'll see.
That's gonna be good. It's gonna be powerful, guaranteed.
It's going to be super powerful.
Oh yeah.
Christopher
Well-
Reeve is the man. I even got my wife got me this a couple years ago from Hallmark, but this Christopher Reeve ornament is freaking sweet.
Awesome.
It even plays the music. Like there's this little button that actually plays the old
Do it.
school
Do it.
theme
Do it.
on
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
You wanna hear it?
Oh, that is rad.
Isn't it?
God, yeah, the nostalgia. Well, guys, thank
Oh,
you
I
guys.
know.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, Spine Tech's coming up next. Refresh your beverages and switch over to their channel. They're always worth it on a Saturday night. And yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.